Hello, I'm going to talk to you about an important thing here today, which is about the importance of views and viewpoints in architecture and products and solutions. So basically, what is a view, what is a viewpoint, and how are these things interrelated? So look at this figure here. This is an owl here. So if you look at it from the front, you get to see the eyes of the owl. If you look at it from the side, you get to see the side part of it. And I'm here, since I'm at the back side of it, I can see the back part of the owl. So this is based on where you're going to see it. You're going to see, based on the viewpoint, you get to see a particular view. So what is viewpoint? Viewpoint is where you're looking at an object from, and view is what you get to see. So typically, that is a fundamental difference that you need to understand. Viewpoint is where you're looking at it from. View is what you get to see. So based on that, it is like the blind man and an elephant. So you have an elephant. So there's one guy who touches a trunk and say, okay, this looks like the pillar of my house. There's another guy who holds the tail and says, this looks like the broomstick in my house. And there's another person who holds it and says, this is like the wall of my house, and so on. So different guys have different perspectives of how they look at things. And as they say, one picture is equivalent to 1,000 words. So one prototype is equivalent to 1,000 meetings. So just as they say one prototype is equal to 1,000 meetings, similar is the case of one picture is equivalent to 1,000 words. So the visual way of communicating is far more powerful than the written way. When you can show and see things, that's far more powerful than conveying the same thing using writing. So similar is the case that views and viewpoints are used to satisfy the needs of stakeholders in the architecture. So, there are multiple views and viewpoints that different architecture frameworks have created, like Philip Cruchen's 4+1 view, which is talking about logical views, deployment views, component views, process views, and then you have the use case view, which surrounds everything like a cloud. And then under each of these views, you can have various kind of artifacts that are created and that will help you in managing the architecture on a day-to-day basis. So that's about views and viewpoints. And typically, there is this ISO standard called ISO IEEE 42010 2011 standard, which talks about the art and science of creating views. And that's pretty much used in enterprise architecture frameworks such as TOGAF, wherein you can create a view based on a viewpoint to satisfy the needs of some stakeholders who got concerns of this in the system. And based on the concerns, you can arrive at a reference architecture and models which will be helpful for you to describe your architecture. Now, why do you need to describe your architecture? Because if you don't describe your architecture well, you could be sitting under a labyrinth of so much of complexity that you don't know how to stage manage your architecture. You don't know what is lying under the hood. You don't know how to re-architect the architecture, how to refactor it, for instance, or what is the traceability in the architecture. As simple as that. You would not know what needs to be done to move from point A to point B to get to in the architecture part. So this is an important concept for views and viewpoints in the architecture. So it's quite important that people really understand the difference between a view and a viewpoint. So based on the kind of architect that you are, you can create multiple types of views in the architecture. If you're a data architect, you'll be interested in the data architecture view. If you're a business architect, you look at business architecture view. If you're information, you look at that. If you're a security architect, you look at security architecture views. If you're a networking architect, you look at that. If you're a performance architect, you look at performance architecture views. If you're a big data architect, you look at that part of it. You're an analytics person, you look at the analytics reference architecture views. So views can be across multiple places. It can be right from the contextual level to the conceptual level to the logical level, all do it down to the physical level. So you can have multiple views that are there in the system, and they are useful to satisfy. So as an architect, your job would be to create the kind of views that will help you convey the meaning of the architecture to various stakeholders based on the kind of reference point that they come from. So not everybody is interested in all kinds of views. So there are multiple guys who are interested in multiple parts of the view, and one view can solve multiple concerns. Multiple concerns could be solved using one view. So that's how you need to look at views and viewpoints. So here is leaving you with this short snippet of what's a view and what's a viewpoint. So stay tuned for more. Do like, share, and subscribe this channel for more such information. Thank you very much for watching.